Okay, so back with another tutorial video, this time on how to, get your feet wet with making tf2 videos, especially at like higher qualities. So this is going to involve stuff like status spec if you're using STVs and you want to manipulate the demo to make it look like it's a point of view demo, Loena, and virtual dub, and of course tf2. So you don't actually have to launch tf2 yourself for this, so the root of all this is going to start at Loena. So when you first install it off of, you can just Google Loena and it'll take you to this website. It's probably the first link. You can download it, and there's also an instructional page if you're hopefully one of those people that likes to read instructions. But once you grab that stuff, there's a bunch of settings. So it will automatically detect where your tf2 folder is installed and all that, and it'll ask you to designate a movie folder. So after you've set all that up, you can of course manually change it yourself. Now the important bits are YouTube has a maximum frame rate of 60 FPS. However, if you're a fancy video editor and you like to do like slowdowns and stuff like that, you're going to want to record at higher FPSs. For now, I'm just going to record at 60. If you want all these maximum settings, you should just I say explore all the stuff. I mean, like, things do exactly what they say. Like, if you want just to kill notices on your HUD, you choose that, you set your DX level, etc., etc. You're going to want to leave this on TGA probably, unless you don't have the hard drive space for it, in which case you're going to want to go for the JPG. On the right here, there's a whole bunch of, this automatically detects your custom folder. Now this is where you can, pick what you want to use. So if you have a custom HUD that you want to make a part of your recording, you can use it here. Now note that it will turn off these custom elements, which means it will just use the entire HUD. So if you want to use for example a HUD here and you only want the kill notices, you'd have to actually edit the HUD to just have kill notices. So yeah, the next part is to simply start Team Fortress 2. And now the way Loena works is it saves all your custom stuff in a temporary zip folder and stores it in your TF folder, and then it puts in its own custom folder in your TF directory with all the custom movie configs and custom textures and stuff like that. Like if you wanted to change your skybox or your explosions under advanced and stuff like that. Oh, by the way, if you want to deal with an STV, you're going to need status spec checked, and you'd also need to go under custom launch options and add -insecure. Otherwise, you can't use status spec. So I'm just gonna wait for tf2 to launch here. And now the way this program works is all the directions are right here on the screen in your console when you first launch tf2. So I'd advise giving those a read, but the basic, at its most basic, is you load a demo, you go to where you want to record, you press P to start, you press P to stop. So I'm going to do that real quick. Just going to wait for this demo to launch. Now the nice thing about Loena and this method of recording is that you can do this on pretty much any I guess any level of hardware that you have. So even me, who's making this recording on a really bad laptop, I can make really high quality recordings. So this game's really loud. I'm just going to volume 0. You're going to want to leave the volume at its default setting in order to have decent volume output when you upload to YouTube. This is an STV, so I need to manually change spec mode. Now I'm going to go find some character. Alright, so if I had remembered to launch status spec along with this, let me pause this. If I remember to launch status spec along with this, there would be a few commands that I would be entering right now in order to make an STV look like a point-of-view demo. And it's all outlined in Paulson's post that I will also link in the description, but the idea is that you take those commands. Let me go find it. Here it is. First you enable it. and then you will want to use this command here. So as Paulson explains, it just sets your local player value to one of the 12 people in the server, and you're gonna have to mess around and find out which exactly that person is you. In this case, I experimented earlier and found out that index number 9 was me. And if I had status spec running right now, which I forgot to turn on, it would light up the kill feed for every time I was involved. So I'm just gonna record like a few frames here, just for the sake of this. So I pressed P here, so you notice that it gets slowed right now, and when you have the audio on, it might sound like super choppy, and that's okay. That won't like affect the quality of your audio file that's outputted. It's just what the recording process looks like. So I'm gonna record a few. I guess maybe this is I don't even know how many frames this is, but I'm gonna stop it now, and I'm gonna pause it. And so just like that, by pressing P twice, once when I wanted to start and once when I wanted to end, I made all my recordings. So I'm going to tap back over to Luena, and I'm just going to stop tf2. I'm going to wait for that to finish up the process of reloading my custom folder back where it should be. Alright, so that's done. So we're actually done with Luena now. So next up is the virtual dub, which you can download from here. It's a very simple Google also. If need be, I will provide the link. So right now in your TF folder, if I sort by date modified, it will have produced just a million like frames, individual TGA frames, and one WAV file. So I didn't record that many frames, which is optimal. So I'm going to move all of these into like a separate folder that I can work with. Just like that. And now, the first time you open these files, it probably won't be automatically opened by Virtual Dub. So assuming you've installed it someplace, you're going to want to open with, choose another app, and you're going to want to, you probably have to like go down to more apps and look for another app on this PC and search for your Virtual Dub executable. Or you can open up Virtual Dub yourself, wherever you installed it. I lost it, but wherever you installed it, and just navigate to this within Virtual Dub. Let me show you what I mean. So here's Virtual Dub's opened up. I'm going to change the size real quick. Now you'll notice that you can like open video files, so you'd actually just like go navigate for your image sequence. So you would search for image sequences, you go into here, and you would just search for the first frame, which would be frame 0, and you would open it like that, just like that. And it will automatically detect the rest of them, assuming they're numbered correctly, and tf2 or Luena automatically names them such that it's done properly. So we're going to go into audio from another file. We're going to go look for that WAV file that was created. We're going to choose that, go to under video, frame rate. We're going to change it so that video and audio durations match, and it should just be around 60 FPS. I didn't really record long enough to get a very real accurate number, but for longer clips, this will approach like 59 point something, which is really all you want. And my audio file is like empty because I set it to volume 0, but you would be able to hear the sound here. So we're just going to export as an AVI. I'm going to save that. It'll process it as an AVI, and we're actually done with audio or Virtual Dub now. So I'm just going to clear all this stuff. And let's see. At this point, you'll have your AVI file outputted, and the only thing left to do is to edit your video. And you can do this however you want. There are many options. One free option is to use Lightworks. I'm not going to go into how to use Lightworks. There's also Sony Vegas Pro and stuff like that. There's many options to edit your video. You can even directly render it with like something like the H.264 encoder, just like the simple UI like this one. Or you could use like command line ffmpeg, whatever works for you. But video editing is like a whole separate topic that I won't really get into. But this is how you get like the base.avi video file that you would use to edit. So yeah. Hopefully that was helpful.